This Valentine's Day, celebrate the one you love the most with Hallmark cards at Walgreens. Valentine's Day is the best time to send your favorite person a reminder of just how much they mean to you. A Hallmark card is a super simple and beautiful way to say how grateful you are for the love you two share. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is Saturday, February 14th. Visit Walgreens today to find a Hallmark card that shows just how much you love them. Because love lives here.
Hey y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Millennial Management Podcast. I am your host, Brandy, the Millennial Manager, and today is Monday, bitch, inside of motherfucking Patreon. I hope y'all had a wonderful weekend. This past weekend, of course, we watched the Seahawks whoop the Patriots' ass, but that's neither here nor there. I want to say that Bad Bunny did such a good job. I enjoyed the halftime show. It was really, really good. I do hate that I missed Green Day because our Xfinity was acting up. Like, we were first watching it on Peacock, and then Peacock went out. And then we were trying to find out, like, another channel to watch it, and we had to wait for the TV to catch up. Like, it was a whole thing. So, finally, when we got back to the channel, the game had already fucking started, and I missed Green Day. So, I'm going to have to watch that on TikTok. But anyway, I hope your team won. I don't have a team. My husband is a Tom Brady fan. He used to be, of course, with the Patriots, but then he went to the Buccaneers. So now he really is not committed to a team like that, but he was trying to support the Patriots, and they did not do a good job. He actually kind of checked out after Bad Bunny's performance, so we just started watching something else. But anyway, let's talk about what the fuck we came here to talk about. Now, this past weekend, we went live inside of Patreon. If you missed it, the live is still available, so you can go onto Patreon and you can watch the live from this past weekend. And we talked a little bit about discrimination in the workplace. We initiated our conversation with like light topics about this Nike situation with the EEOC. This is actually a very layered situation, and I have my opinions, but let's just get to the facts first. So what triggered this? Well, a couple weeks ago, I shared a video of the chair of the EEOC saying that she wants white men to come forward and to say, like, you know, they have been discriminated against with, you know, clear-cut evidence or none at all, you know, that they've been actually discriminated against. I don't think she cares of whether or not it actually happened, but she wants, you know, white men to come forward and tell their story. However, I guess there weren't any situations, or there weren't enough situations, or maybe a company just not as big as Nike that, you know, were liberal leaning. And she decided, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do our own investigation. And so the chair of the EEOC has decided to launch an active investigation against Nike, stating that its DEI practices and programs led to illegal reverse discrimination under Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Okay? Now, reverse racism to me is a fucking ridiculous term, because racism implies that there's a type of power structure that does not allow you to elevate. And to my knowledge, Nike hires a lot of white men. A lot of white people, period, work for Nike. So I'm not sure exactly if they're talking about brand deals, like as far as athletes are concerned. This is going to get very interesting, because what the fuck does this mean for the NBA? What the fuck does this mean for the NFL? And it could possibly stretch even to college sports, because we know that colleges and now high school students in the state of Michigan, they're able to collect that bread. Okay, so I want to know what the NCAA has to say about this. This is like a long-term effect, right? So what they're saying is that the agency is examining this pattern or practice of unfair treatment against white employees and applicants during hiring, promotion, demotions, and layoffs. So they're saying that white people have disproportionately been laid off, not hired, or they have not received promotions because they are white. Okay? Now, this is going to get very fucking interesting because we know that racism is hard to prove. As a Black woman in America, you have to have like a direct like statement that says, I am not going to hire you because you're Black, right? It is so hard to prove. You have to really document when racism has happened, and it's very hard to put that on paper and to prove it because it could be covert. You know, a lot of times it's not right there in your face. Reverse racism is a joke to me, I feel like, because number one, that means there has to be some type of power structure that is keeping these people down. And I just don't see that as being a reality. Okay. But let's continue. They're also talking about workforce quotas. Investigators are looking at Nike's stated goals, such as achieving 35% representation for racial and ethnic minorities across its U.S. workforce, 30% at director levels, to see if they function as illegal quotas, meaning they set up their own quotas saying, okay, we are going to be intentional with our hiring practices. So 35% of the representation of employees will look different. You know, and y'all, let's talk about the other percentage.
It's awesome. You're going to love it.
I am
I'm
going
to give it to you.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. If you're shopping while working, eating, or even listening to this podcast, then you know and love the thrill of the hunt. But are you getting the thrill of the best deals? Rakuten shoppers do. They get the brands they love with the most savings and cash back. And you can get it too. Start getting cash back at your favorite stores and even stack sales on top of cash back. It's easy to use, and you get your cash back through PayPal or check. The idea is simple. Stores pay Rakuten for sending them shoppers, and Rakuten shares the money with you as cash back. Download the free Rakuten app and never miss a deal. Or go to Rakuten.com to start getting the most bang for your buck. That's Rakuten.
Thanks, Ashley, for being here. You are.
The secret is out. With millions of younger-looking customers across the country, Plexiderm is one of the most highly sought-after products on the market. It visibly shrinks under-eye bags and smooths out crow's feet in minutes, and the effects last up to 10 hours. Influencers love it, magazines feature it, and people just can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, Elle Magazine gave it an Editor's Choice Award as Best Instant Wrinkle Filler for 2025. In as little as 10 minutes, Plexiderm reduces the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and those dreaded under-eye bags. So yes, you can look years younger in minutes, and the effects last for hours. No surgery, no gimmicks, just results. The best news, you can try Plexiderm for only $14.95. Plus, get free shipping. Don't wait. Order Plexiderm today. Visit plexiderm.com/special. That's plexiderm.com/special. Paid for by Sheer Science.
You see what I'm saying? The 35% is a small percentage to spread across minorities when y'all hold all the other fucking percentages. But that's not what this is about. They don't want just that other percentage. They want everything. So let's continue. Let's see. They also said restricted programs. The EEOC is reviewing 16 specific programs allegedly providing race-restricted mentoring and leadership development. Now, before we move forward, in my opinion, I think they are using Nike as the poster child for what they want to do to other organizations. And they can't necessarily go after all of them, but they can start with Nike, kind of how Target was like. Target kind of sacrificed themselves for Daddy Trump and for the fucking Republicans. They sacrificed themselves. They gave it up like immediately. But now they are using Nike as the poster child for the rest of these organizations, and it is going to be very hard for these companies to fight this. So we may see changes coming to Costco, Disney, like places that have really fought the administration on the claims that they were making. we're going to start seeing some changes, and this is how they're going to do it. They're going to take these people to court and bring them in and make them testify and make them spend a lot of money. And we know what organizations, they don't want to do that. Okay, they want to keep their money. And so this is just a way for them to get all of them to comply with what they want. Now, Nike's position is that, of course, they have denied any wrongdoing, and described the legal filing as surprising and an unusual escalation. And I would also like to highlight that there have not been any formal complaints from any employees. No employees have complained about the hiring practices, promotions, layoffs, terminations. Nobody has filed a complaint with the EEOC regarding this matter. So this is strictly coming from the EEOC. So they are diverting efforts and time to actual instances where workers have been denied support on the job, workers are being retaliated against on the job, where workers are really dealing with serious issues on the job, to this, right? You're diverting actual tax dollars and effort to chase something that's not even happening. That's how I know that the EEOC is not going to be what we have always thought it to be, as this place to go where you need support, or if you have to go after an organization, you know, you're going to the EEOC for mediation. It's not going to happen, or it's going to be severely delayed. Like even now, I think they're at like 14 months for even to start investigation, or 6 months to start investigating, and then 14 months to completion. By that time, so much time has passed. So many things could have happened in between then. And so you really don't get like the justice that you're seeking. So they're diverting those tools and resources to chase a ghost. And I just think that's fucking disgusting. I also want to talk about that when I shared that video of that bitch, that somebody was like, this must be AI. It's not. And I told you guys that day that it was not. And this was like 2 months ago that somebody had commented that. And I'm like, y'all, this is not fucking AI. This came directly from the EEOC. Let's talk about the demand. So the current legal action is that the EEOC filed a motion in federal court in Missouri, and you know they had to go through one of their buddies to get it done, to force Nike to comply with the subpoena that was issued in September. So back in September, the EEOC filed the motion, and basically, or no, they filed the complaint back in September, and then they filed the motion to make them comply with the subpoena that was issued back in September, because Nike had not been complying with it. So the subpoena demands that the agency seeks data back into 2018. So this is also during Trump's presidency, his first presidency, including details of employee layoffs in 2024 and how race data impacts executive compensation. Unusual origin. Let's go to that. Unlike most cases, this began with a commissioner's charge, just like I told y'all. Andrea Lucas, that's the lady who runs the EEOC, rather than an employee complaint. Now, to me, I do feel like this is a huge waste of tax dollars. This is a huge waste of what the EEOC should be doing. And I know that they have this high-ass list of cases that they have not gotten to. And I've gotten so many emails about, like, do you know somebody that works for the EEOC? Girl, no, I don't. And workers' rights, those are among the things that Trump, he lied about, of course, we know. But those were among the things that have kind of been put on the back burner. And I think that along with this, we're about to see a lot of changes inside of the workplace, okay? Whether it's employee safety, like the suits and the type of masks that you have to wear. Like, I think we're about to see a lot of changes in the workplace. Like, first, it was this culture war shit. And now they are getting down to the meat of what the fuck they've been intending to do this entire time. Now, back in 2024, this was before the election. The commissioner, Andrea Lucas, She filed a commissioner's charge that allowed the agency to initiate a probe without a specific worker filing a complaint. Now, isn't that interesting? Okay, this is almost like they were setting up the board before they even got elected, because this was before, I believe, even Kamala stepped into the race. Y'all take me back to 2024. I feel like at this point, early May of 2024, Biden was still in the race, or somewhere up in there in April. The election is not happening until November. So you mean to tell me that you knew to go ahead and file this commissioner's charge so that in the future you would have the ability to do that? And I don't remember anybody reporting on that or saying anything about it. Now, the basis of the allegations, it says that the charge was based on Nike's own public disclosure, such as corporate diversity targets, statements for executives rather than internal reports of treatment. So this is basically like Nike bragged about their DEI practices, and so now the federal government is coming after them. Now, let's talk about what this means going forward. So it started out as the EEOC, as good governance, right? For taxpayers, for workers, but now it's becoming a legal risk, okay? Like, this is actually an issue because the companies or the organizations are not being able to make their own decisions based off of what their leadership at that organization wants for them to do. It has to be what that bitch says. If it's not what that bitch says,
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1. This Valentine's Day, celebrate the one you love the most with Hallmark cards at Walgreens. Valentine's Day is the best time to send your favorite person a reminder of just how much they mean to you. A Hallmark card is a super simple and beautiful way to say how grateful you are for the love you two share. Don't forget, Valentine's Day is Saturday, February 14th. Visit Walgreens today to find a Hallmark card that shows just how much you love them. Because love lives here.
Planning another business trip soon? When you fly Emirates, you can really make the most of your journey. Emirates offers a luxurious chauffeur-driven transfer from your door to and from the airport. You'll have access to the Emirates Lounge, where you can enjoy a drink, explore an international menu, or even take a shower. And on your flight, you can enjoy all the comforts of Emirates' world-class service. Get more from your business trips with Emirates. Book now on emirates.com.
Then they're going to take them to court. They're going to keep them in litigation, and it's just going to milk the company until they comply. And that's what the fuck they want. Now, publicly sharing workforce diversity targets and trying to executive pay to DEI goals and all of that, that was seen as progressive, okay? Progressive corporate governance. That's where we wanted to continue. But now the EEOC is treating these public disclosures as potential admissions of intentional discrimination, meaning that they are admitting that we are leaving out people. But, okay, there's a lot of intersectionality when it comes to DEI. DEI hires can imply that this person is a veteran who could also be a white man. He could be gay, who is also a white man. He could be disabled or handicapped, who is also a white man. Okay, so there's a lot of intersectionality there. So it's like, what do you do in these instances where this person has these qualifications or these special criteria, are they not supposed to put veterans first? Veterans getting first choice in hiring is DEI, guys. That's DEI. So in the grand scheme of it, I think it's going to impact the actual cases of discrimination. So cases where employees are really being discriminated against for their gender, for their disability. I think in race, like actual cases to chase a ghost to get them to comply, and them using our tax dollars to do so is so fucked up. But this is why we vote, bitch. This is why. A lot of people don't think your vote matters, but this is why it fucking matters. Because if there was someone, a watchdog, or if we had organizations in place to stop this shit, right? Checks and balances don't exist under this type of government, under this administration. There is no checks and balances. It's whatever the fuck the White House says. And that is very dangerous. That's very dangerous. And y'all keep thinking that politics don't have nothing to do with work. It do, bitch. And I'm not going to say it correctly. It do. Okay? Though that the experience that we have at work, the rights that we have in the workplace are directly affected by the laws that have been put in place to protect us as employees. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm a mama, okay? And Pooties is right here. But anyway, so it's definitely connected. And this is why we need to make sure that we educate ourselves and we get out and vote. Okay, so that we don't have shit like this to happen. But that is going to be it for today, guys. I really, really wanted to put this in your ear because you need to understand what could be coming your way for those of us who work in corporate. And some of us work for really large corporations. Like my company is still relatively small. However, these type of cash grabs really it's not a cash grab. What could we call it? Like, I feel like it's the mob putting pressure on these companies. That's what it feels like. It feels like the Italian mob just like applying pressure to these businesses to make them comply and do what the fuck they want. It is going to trickle down and it's going to affect a lot of people's jobs. It's going to affect a lot of people's ability to move up in corporate spaces. I mean, that's just a fact because they are upset that there are not enough white men, even after years of pushing that college is not important. And now you want these white men all in these corporate spaces. So this is going to be an interesting case and I'll make sure to keep you guys up to date. And I'll also record some things on social media as we move forward in the case. Okay. All right, bitch. Well, you have a good motherfucking day at work. We're going to keep this episode short. All right. Because this is a lot of information. So make sure that you research. If you have any questions, y'all can send me your emails if you want to talk about this specifically, or if you have other questions, you can send your emails over to the THEE MILL managementpod@gmail.com. And then for text messaging, you can send your text messages over to 313-242-7662. Okay, you can leave a voicemail. You could also send a text message, and then it could possibly end up either on social media where I read those, or it'll end up in the podcast. Okay. All right, bitch, you have a good ass day. Fuck them people at that motherfucking job and do not let them ruin your fucking day. You hear me, bitch? Say yes. Thank you very much. Now you have a good ass day and I'll talk to your ass later. Bye.
Planning another business trip soon? When you fly Emirates, you can really make the most of your journey. Emirates offers a luxurious chauffeur-driven transfer from your door to and from the airport. You'll have access to the Emirates Lounge where you can enjoy a drink, explore an international menu, or even take a shower. And on your flight, you can enjoy all the comforts of Emirates world-class service. Get more from your business trips with Emirates. Book now on Emirates.com.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.